Welcome to the Connected Spirit Podcast, a space where the mystical and the human experience merge, where we explore what it really means to walk a spirit-led path. I'm Courtney Dawson, an ethical medium and mentor, and for as long as I can remember, I have felt the presence of the spirit world. But my journey hasn't been simple. It's been one of self-discovery, healing from religious and emotional trauma, navigating fear, judgment, and the loneliness that comes with embracing something the world doesn't always understand. This podcast is here to take what was once considered woo and bring it into the real lived experience of being human. Because mediumship isn't just something we do, it's who we are. Here we dive into the conversations no one else is having, breaking down misconceptions, exploring the unseen, and normalizing the journey of deep connection. We'll talk about the beauty and the struggle of being a medium. We'll laugh, we'll reflect, we'll go deep. And most importantly, we'll remember who we are, why we're here, and how spirit moves through us all. So if you've ever felt something more, if you've ever questioned the unseen, or if you're simply ready to embrace the fullness of your spiritual path, you're in the right place.
Have you been sitting with your mediumship development and feeling like you have taken all the classes, read the books, watched all of the YouTube videos, and yet you still get nervous as fuck when it comes to giving a mediumship message? You feel the heart palpitations come in, you recognize the presence of the spirit, you're like, okay, I can give this message, and then you completely freeze. And that strong link with the spirit world, it just dissipates, and then you're frustrated, wondering like, how did I get to this place? And then you find yourself sitting there, supposed to be giving a mediumship reading, and you're completely spiraling. You lose the connection link with the spirit world, and on top of that, you don't even just drop out of a psychic link, you completely move out of the power. And then you start questioning if you're even meant to be doing this work as a medium. Well, today I'm going to help you identify how your current mediumship teachers are actually holding you back and how they're responsible for that. So if you're new here, I'm an ethical evidential medium. I've been doing this professionally for almost a decade and have helped hundreds of students across the globe unlock their mediumship abilities with ease because I use the connected spirit method. And I guarantee you, any teacher, any mentor, any coach that has worked with you with respect to your mediumship abilities is not using this. And this is why you struggle in connecting with the spirit world. So let's get into it. Why does that happen? Why do you panic? Why do you start second guessing the information that's coming through? Why do you struggle in giving clear and specific and accurate information every single time that it comes to you giving a practice reading, a paid reading with a client? Well, I'm going to tell you why. When you started your mediumship development journey, and as you're listening to this, raise your hand, because I know that you're going to be able to relate with this. A couple of things your mediumship teachers have told you. You have to meditate. You need to be able to get nice and quiet to be able to feel the spirit world. And then step number 2 they give you is to get really in tune with your inner guidance system. And then 3, share what you get. And I'm going to tell you that's actually the worst advice a mediumship coach, mediumship teacher can give you. And here's why. If you have absolutely no awareness of your own energy, it is going to make it damn near impossible for you to recognize the presence of the spirit when they gather close. And the byproduct of that is when you get some sort of little inkling, you're actually not fully aware if that's you or the spirit. And then you panic, then you spiral, and then that repeats. That actually hinders and is the cause of your self-doubt and your lack of confidence in your mediumship abilities. But today, we're going to switch that. So let me break down for you why the way that you've been taught to develop mediumship is actually holding you back. And those people that you're paying to give you guidance and support that are training you are actually holding you back. It's because they're not actually teaching you how to blend with the spirit world. Now that's a phrase, a term that's often used in mediumship development, but what does that actually mean? So let's break that down. Number 1, In order for you to be able to blend with the spirit world, you absolutely have to know what your own energy feels like. So while meditation is sweet and nice and helps you relax, it does nothing in helping you to recognize your own energy. It doesn't. All it does is get you nice and relaxed and take you on a mind journey. It takes you away from yourself when you actually need to have an awareness of self. Does this make sense? I'm sure you're like, Courtney, I know exactly what you're talking about. I know exactly what you mean. So what if you go for a walk on a path down the beach? How does that help you recognize your own energy? And yet, better yet, how does that help you recognize the presence of the spirit? It actually doesn't. So what you need to do, step number 1, is recognize your own energy. So here's how you're going to do it. Wherever you are, you want to be in a place where you're not going to be distracted for at least 3 to 5 minutes. And if you don't have 3 to 5 minutes, I'm going to be really brutally honest with you. You don't then have the time for mediumship development. There is no quick fix. There's not. You can take a weekend workshop. It's not going to make you a medium because you need the time to integrate what you're learning. So 3 to 5 minutes. All right. You're going to start off by grounding your energy. So you want to visualize tree roots coming out of the bottom of your feet, going into the earth, going through the different layers of the earth. And this is something that I teach inside the Summer with Spirit course. This is what I teach inside my mediumship mastery circles. It is absolutely foundational. It's absolutely vital because when you anchor into that earth energy, it grounds you into the body. So you then have an awareness of self before you start raising your vibration and reaching those higher levels of awareness and consciousness. Okay. Then you want to breathe in that energy and allow it to fill your body. It brings you that sense of groundedness, connectedness, and then your energy isn't going to be janky. Okay. The next step is you want to feel into your body. Notice aches, pains, sensations. Notice where your thoughts are at. You want to notice what kind of feelings are coming up and simply be the witness to it. That's it. That's all you have to do. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't get overly involved or attached to what you're experiencing. You really want to be kind of like a bystander. And this is what I've taught my students in my circles and going to be teaching in my Summer with Spirit. When you're doing this work, you want to be the witness. You want to be the observer. If you're so involved or too much involved, right, you're not going to be witnessing everything that the spirit world is trying to share with you. Okay? And then number 3, you want to hold that power and be fully aware of what you are like, what's going on for you. Get to know you. If you have no awareness of you, you are never going to be a clear channel for the presence of spirit, because without that awareness of self, you're going to get easily confused on spirit's presence when they come close. I see this all the time. Happens in all of my circles. Within the first 2 weeks, the first 2 classes of my circles, students always struggle with this. And I go, well, what kind of practices are you doing? Well, meditation. What kind of meditation? Well, a guided journey or a meditation to help me connect with my spirit guide. But I'm not really sure if that was my imagination or my spirit guide. Well, yeah, no kidding. It makes perfect sense why you're not recognizing spirit. It's because you don't have that awareness of self. So you have to know what you feel like, okay? Do that 3 to 5 minutes every day, okay? You've got that time. Believe me, you can make the time if it's important, right? That is the foundation for you to be able to invite the spirit world close and blend with them. Now that you have that awareness, this is where it gets fun. You want to blend your energy, okay? Blending simply means that you're going to allow your auric field to expand and be super expansive. Think of it as like, and this is what I teach my students inside the Summer of Spirit class. Think of your auric field as like a big bubble. Or if you've watched that kind of more popular movie recently, Wicked with Ariana Grande, and you see her inside that really big bubble. She's this tiny little person in this big, big bubble. Think of your auric field like that. It has to be in that state. Has to be. Because when you invite the spirit communicator to come close, your auric field is extra sensitive, and you're going to feel the spirit come close into your space. People always think, oh, spirit's on my left side or on my right side. Actually, they're not. It is your auric field picking up on the impressions or the subtlety of them coming in your field of power. They could be anywhere. It's just how you're picking up on them, okay? So you want the auric field in that state. Now, the blending is asking one spirit communicator who your partner, who your recipient, who your client will know, asking them to step forward and giving yourself at least 60 to 90 seconds for them to blend with you. So what does the blending mean? The blending means is that you're allowing their auric field to touch your auric field. Okay? If you do not do that and allow a proper blending, you're going to question if this information is your imagination or it's spirit. You're also going to doubt, is this really spirit with me? Okay? That's a problem, because that gets you into the active mind, drops you out of the power. You go into at least a psychic link, if not completely out of the power. So take 60 to 90 seconds, let the spirit world blend with you. And when that happens, there's going to be certainty in the information that you're giving to your recipient. You're going to be making statements like, I know that she would have experienced this. She tells me that. He shows me this. And you're confident in that. There's underpinning all of that is certainty. You absolutely have to have that. And as a bonus, I think this is a bonus. I love it when I'm channeling, is when I'm in the power and I've fully blended with the spirit, the information just comes so much more quicker. There is not those pauses, having to close your eyes, go back in, feel everything. It's almost like you're restarting the engine over and over again, or kind of like you've started your car, you're driving, and then instead of getting to your end destination, you park in the middle of the road, you turn off the ignition, and then you wait to go again. And then what happens is you've got to back up a lineup of cars behind you. Those lineup of cars are actually metaphors of pieces of evidence that spirit wants to share with you through your mediumship. Okay? So allowing the spirit world to blend with you and then beginning to describe what you're experiencing through all of your senses, whether it's seeing, hearing, feeling, smelling, tasting, touching, knowing, you're going to share that with your recipient. The problem with the way that you've been taught is that the focus has to be on you, focusing on you and your inner guidance system. Well, if you're not using the connected spirit method like I shared with you in the beginning, you're going to completely confuse yourself and you're going to plateau in your mediumship. You'll never get to a professional level. You'll never bring through the specific information, the information that clients are like, holy shit, how did she know that? How did he know that? There's no way you could have ever known that information because that was only shared between me and my loved one. That's how you do it. So instead of going into these meditative states, you need to move into a higher vibration and an expansive state, but you can never truly do that or fully do it unless you have awareness of self. You can't have one without the other. It's like trying to build a house and put the roof on before you have the foundation laid. Makes sense, right? And so if you're struggling right now and you're having conversations with yourself, maybe some people that you're friends with, and you're like, you know what, I had this amazing reading. I gave this spot on information. They knew exactly what I was talking about. And I felt so good and so energetic. But now that I'm in the classes, my messages are kind of spotty. I feel like I'm guessing. I feel like people don't really understand what I'm saying, and better yet, I'm doubting what I'm sharing. Then chances are it has to do with the way that you've been taught mediumship. You've not been taught the connected spirit method, And most importantly, you've not been taught how to properly blend with the spirit world. And this is why I can have students come into my classes, come into my circles, and within one class, they're not only channeling accurately, they're bringing incredible evidence like spirit names. And there's a lady in my mastery circle right now who had never taken a mediumship class, a spiritual development class, an intuitive psychic class, nothing ever before. And in one class, she not only gave a communication that was incredibly accurate, but she brought through a spirit person's name. So if you're struggling to bring through that kind of accuracy in your mediumship readings, I'm going to tell you, it is the way you've been taught. It's not your fault. And if you want support, because you know in your heart, you know that you're meant to do this, Spirit's calling you to step forward, then I want you to comment somewhere below. And I'm going to share some information with you that is going to change everything, because the world needs more ethical mediums. Myself, I can't take care of everybody. I can't read for the world. But together in community, we can absolutely do this.
The Connected Spirit isn't just a podcast. It's a remembering of who we are, a remembering of our connection to spirit, and a remembering that we are never walking this path alone. Mediumship isn't just about speaking with spirits. It's about deepening the connection to our own spirit, to one another, and to the energy that moves through everything. So as you leave this space, ask yourself, what part of this conversation stirred something within you? What connection is Spirit inviting you to strengthen? If this episode spoke to you, please share it, leave a review, and connect with me on Instagram at Medium Courtney Dawson, or visit my website at mediumcourtneydawson.com. Your presence in this community matters, because connection isn't just about what we seek, it's what we are. Until next time, trust your spirit, trust the unseen world, and trust that you are always connected.